The commencement of the Mercedes season at the Bahrain Grand Prix unfolded in a manner quite contrary to the high expectations set during testing and free practices. Despite the initial positive feedback and a promising start from George Russell, who skillfully secured P2 by overtaking Leclerc, the podium ultimately eluded the silver arrows. This setback is particularly disheartening for a team that consistently aspires to be among the top two on the grid. As the 2024 season kicked off at the Bahrain International Circuit, Mercedes faced unforeseen challenges. The discrepancy between the impressive qualifying performance of George Russell, finishing P3, and Lewis Hamilton, starting at a disappointing P9, hinted at potential hurdles for the team. Hamilton's ninth-place qualification marked his lowest start in a season opener since the 2009 Australian Grand Prix, yet his optimism about the new Mercedes car remained intact, as he expressed feeling like a true race car again. However, race day revealed a different story, with the Silver Arrows duo finishing in P5 and P7, far from the expected podium contention. The initial euphoria surrounding the Mercedes team in the paddock now appears somewhat exaggerated, given their struggle to find their footing in the early stages of the season. Adding to their woes, Lewis Hamilton reported a series of issues during the race, with one peculiar problem being a broken seat. This raised eyebrows, considering that the seat was supposedly a focal point for improvement in the W15 model, responding to Hamilton's grievances from the previous season. The decision to move the cockpit 100 millimeters ahead, based on Hamilton's feedback, was a central aspect of the redesign. While not claiming expertise in car design, the situation suggests that fixing one problem might have inadvertently led to the creation of additional challenges, possibly necessitating a comprehensive chassis redesign. This perspective sheds light on the complexity of Formula One engineering and the intricate balance required in making improvements without compromising other aspects of the car's performance. In retrospect, Hamilton's departure from Mercedes, a team he had been associated with for a considerable period, becomes more understandable. The 2024 Challenger, supposedly tailored to his preferences, evidently faced unforeseen setbacks. Whether these challenges were due to inherent flaws or unforeseen consequences of modifications remains a topic of speculation, but it certainly provides context to Hamilton's decision to seek new horizons in the Formula One landscape. Given the current predicament faced by the Mercedes Formula One team, it prompts us to delve into the intricacies of the issues at hand. The perplexing question arises: why are these challenges surfacing at the very onset of the season? Is it plausible that Lewis Hamilton's feedback was flawed? Or did the engineers at Brackley overlook crucial aspects of their responsibilities? Hamilton's demeanor, despite starting in P9, suggests a level of contentment due to the strategic race setup aimed at optimizing pace. Comparatively, his advancement of 2 positions stands out as a commendable feat, especially when juxtaposed with George Russell, who experienced a decline in positions due to unforeseen power unit complications. Russell's initial prowess was marred by the necessity to shift focus towards mitigating a power unit issue, stemming from a cooling miscalculation. This predicament led to the implementation of lift and coast measures to counteract escalating temperatures. Notably, these engine issues extended beyond the Mercedes team, affecting its customer team, Williams, as well as drivers from Mclaren and Aston Martin, further compounding the challenges faced. When Mercedes Motorsport boss, Toto Wolff, was questioned about these unexpected reliability woes, he shed light on the positive pre-season testing, stable car performance, and the driver's satisfaction leading up to the race. However, the deviation from the race plan ensued when the engine had to be pushed more than anticipated, resulting in performance setbacks. Wolff elaborated on the unexpected power unit challenges, revealing that the disruption led to compromised lap times, with a substantial loss in power unit performance. The requirement to implement lift and coast strategies meant sacrificing crucial seconds, creating a significant setback for the team. The subsequent revelation that similar issues were encountered by other teams raises concerns about the team's preparedness for races in high-temperature environments, such as those anticipated in the upcoming desert race. The prospect of facing recurring issues throughout the season looms large for Mercedes, especially considering the impending races in high-temperature conditions. Wolff's acknowledgement that the problem was not fully comprehended adds an element of uncertainty, leaving fans and analysts alike speculating on the team's ability to address and overcome these challenges promptly. Adding to the complexity is the realization that Lewis Hamilton's valuable feedback, instrumental in the team's development, will be absent due to regulations limiting his involvement in the car's upgrades throughout the season. This absence leaves a void in the team's decision-making process and places them at a disadvantage as they navigate the competitive landscape against rivals who may not face similar limitations. In conclusion, the unfolding scenario for Mercedes raises questions not only about the immediate challenges faced, but also about the team's adaptability and resilience throughout the season. The absence of Hamilton's hands-on involvement in the car's development further compounds the uncertainty, making this a pivotal moment for the reigning champions as they strive to maintain their competitive edge in the ever-evolving world of Formula One. Should Russell fail to extract the full potential from the vehicle, it would signify a recurring pattern for the Brackley team. The team, once dominant in the previous era of regulations, now faces the prospect of faltering in the current one. Despite this, Russell remains optimistic, though questions linger about whether this optimism is born out of necessity. Despite encountering setbacks that hindered his pursuit of a podium finish, Russell's early performance and qualifying display instilled hope for the future. Russell acknowledged the challenges, citing the need to dial down the engine, affecting tire performance. While he believes a podium may have been unlikely, a better effort could have been made. The hurdles faced by Mercedes at the initial Grand Prix of 2024 can be attributed to the redesign of their car, specifically the alterations to the side pods leading to the radiators in the W15 model. Although there's room for improvement in this area, the initial feedback has been disheartening, contrary to Mercedes' expectations. Despite these setbacks, there are positive aspects to consider. Mclaren appears less competitive than initially thought, and Bahrain, not a circuit favoring their strengths, contributed to this. Aston Martin, too, faces challenges that may not immediately threaten Mercedes. However, caution is warranted as both McLaren and Aston Martin have shown the ability to make swift improvements, unlike Mercedes, grappling with ongoing issues since the 2022 season. Hamilton, despite a subpar race and the need to compromise battery power for engine cooling, expresses optimism. He acknowledges catching up towards the end but laments the significant early race setback. Despite this, Hamilton remains positive, emphasizing the difference between the current state and the past years, where the team spent races addressing persistent problems. Now, there's a stable platform to build upon. So, moving forward, there's a developmental phase underway, and it's apparent that our collaboration is strong. The recent performances of Mercedes in the Bahrain Grand Prix, securing 5th and 7th places, were somewhat anticipated given the context of the previous 2 years but left a sense of disappointment. The enthusiasm generated by their winter advancements and the driver's enhanced understanding of the new car made these results somewhat deflating. The issues faced by Mercedes extend beyond a mere lack of speed. They reveal a team grappling with persistent challenges and internal obstacles. While we remain hopeful that these challenges will be swiftly addressed and the true potential of the car will be evident in Jeddah, the Bahrain race underscored Mercedes' ongoing struggles to make significant progress. Fortunately, McLaren and Aston Martin, two formidable competitors, find themselves in a similar predicament, navigating a steep learning curve. However, Carlos Sainz's performance for Ferrari accentuates a stark contrast, showcasing the Maranello team's superior foundation and scientific proficiency in maneuvering the SF24. This places Ferrari in a favorable position, potentially securing Sainz's future in the sport beyond 2025. In this scenario, Mercedes-Benz is in a delicate position, unable to leverage the expertise of one of the most seasoned drivers on the grid, a 7-time world champion with 6 championships achieved with Mercedes. Despite their efforts, resolving their issues seems elusive. Considering the potential assistance from other veteran drivers like Alonso or Vettel, Mercedes may find the remedy they need. The question arises, is this a temporary setback for Mercedes, and will they bounce back? Or are we headed for another average season for the Silver Arrows? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and stay tuned for our upcoming content.